Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity to come up and lay out this amendment, which will essentially increase funding to courthouse preservations.
Mr. Miller, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for a couple of questions?
Yes, sir, I will.
Gentleman yields.
Yield for a question.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate you bringing this amendment. Could you kind of explain what you hope to accomplish here?
Well, there are courthouses which are in need of preserving. Right now, they have $589,000 which are put towards them. I would like to take some money and put it towards refurbishing those old courthouses.
Have you ever been involved in one of those courthouse projects?
Our current courthouse in one of my counties is going through one of those right now, going through a pretty big issue, actually, with one of those and with the Historical Commission.
And what county would that be?
Kaufman County.
Kaufman County. And do you know what the amount is that is being spent on that courthouse?
I'm not sure what the exact amount is. It'll have to be spent to repair it, to get it to the code that the Historical Commission wishes to have. But it'll have to be done within the next 2 years, I know.
Well, let me say that I appreciate your amendment and what you're trying to do. I had a courthouse, I've had two of my courthouses done, and so does it matter to you where this money comes from? If you're really about helping the courthouses, does it matter to you where the money comes from?
I think it matters greatly where the money comes from, yes, sir.
And why is that?
Well, because it's where money comes and where it goes is very important. It depends on whose ox is getting gored. I'm sure somebody wanted money put in a certain area and didn't consider it put in another, and that's why I wanted to bring the amendment so we could talk about whether it needed to be in one place or another.
Well, do you have a problem with the arts?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay.
I actually think that the biggest piece of art in our county is the county courthouse. It's a centerpiece.
Okay, so but your number one priority is getting an additional $906,000 in round numbers into the courthouse. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to come down front because I have an amendment to the amendment.
Following amendment to the amendment, the clerk will read the amendment.
Amendment by Miller of Kamal.
Chair recognizes Representative Miller of Kamal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I have a little amendment here to this. I agree with Dr. Spitzer that these courthouses are very important. I have one in my district that was, as I said earlier, remodeled in New Braunfels and also one in Bernie. And so what I'd propose to do is we heard Dr. Spitzer say that the most important work of art in his district is the courthouse, and I'm proposing to take this money from the Trinity Valley Community College and put it into the courthouse program.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Stickland, for what purpose?
The gentleman yield for a question.
Miller, to yield for question.
I'd be glad to yield.
Gentleman yields.
Chairman Miller, I just want to see if I understand your amendment correctly. You are agreeing that the courthouses need to have more money, but you are now proposing that the money specifically come out of a college that's in Dr. Spitzer's house district?
That's correct.
And what's the reasoning behind that?
Well, I think if the most important thing in their district is the courthouse, it should come from the district.
So you want his local community college to subsidize all historical courtrooms throughout the state of Texas?
Well, his district's getting some money. He just said they're remodeling their courthouse right now. So this money can go to his courthouses and other courthouses.
And Representative Miller, I believe that you said that your district benefited from two of these things and that you think that it's important as well.
Yes, sir.
So is the question at hand before us today when we vote on this amendment to the amendment whether we think that Stuart Spitzer's district should bear the full cost of this program, or if it's a better use of taxpayer dollars to take it from the Arts Commission?
Well, I would say that the arts for the whole state of Texas too.
Representative Miller, is this an honest? I mean, forgive me,
sir?
Is this a serious amendment? You want one local college to pay for all of the renovations? Is this serious?
You're questioning my integrity, Mr.
No, I'm asking you, do you think that this is good policy? Should we spend the rest of today going after specific members that we may disagree with on an amendment?
I'm sorry you see it that way.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, will the gentleman yield?
Mr. Miller, do you
Glad
yield?
to yield.
Gentleman yields for question.
Chairman, first off, I want to congratulate you on those beautiful 2 courthouse buildings that you have.
Hope you've had a chance to visit them.
I have, and I think they're fine locations. When they were built, Chairman, they were built with county funds, and they probably went out to certain county bonds to get those monies, did they not?
That's correct.
There was only a small portion that came from the Texas Courthouse Historical Fund. Is that not accurate?
I don't want to use the word small, but there was a portion that came. I believe that it was about a $9 million project in New Braunfels, and about 50 or 60% of it came from state funds. It was like a 50-50 or 60-40 grant.
And if we were to continue with Representative Spitzer's original amendment, there's no guarantee that any of that money would ever actually go to his courthouse. Is that accurate?
Well, there's no guarantee, no, sir.
Okay, well, I think you've got a fine amendment. Thank you, Representative Miller.
Thank you. Move passage.
Chair recognizes Dr. Spitzer to speak against the amendment to the amendment.
This money is not an earmark for my district. It's for the courthouses in general, and I would move to table this amendment.
Chair recognizes Representative Miller to close on the amendment to the amendment.
Members, I think that the arts program is for the whole state too, and I think that we've got a situation here where I would ask for your support and ask you to table the vote against the motion to table.
Mr. Miller sends up an amendment to the amendment. Dr. Spitzer moves to table this on the motion to table. Vote aye, vote nay. Show Representative Spitzer voting aye, Representative Miller voting no. Clerk, ring the bell. Have all members voted? Have all voted? Meaning 38 ayes and 96 nays. Motion to table fails. Members, we're on page 11. The following amendment. The clerk will read the amendment.